The biggest growing market in escorting is something called the girlfriend experience. Now, that doesn't mean getting paid to be moody and forcing him to try and work out what's wrong. No. This is a particular service. I've never been a very good girlfriend in real life, but for one night only, I am the perfect girlfriend. When you had to do those all-nighters girlfriend experience, how much of that would be conversation and how much of that would be sex? I suppose it would differ.
It depended on the person.
Yeah.
I mean, very often it would start off like a normal appointment where you have the drink, a bit of chit-chat, and get sex done.
I love it. Tick.
Tick.
Anyway.
And then now let's sit down and have even more of a chat.
Yeah.
Or order up some food. Or is there something on television? Would you like to watch a movie?
Yeah.
And then sex again.
Yeah.
And then maybe some sleep.
Yeah.
And then sex in the morning. It is about intimacy.
Yeah.
They're paying for intimacy. If it was just about getting off, if it was just about the orgasm, they'd have a wank and save the money.
Men like Tony, they don't have time for a real relationship. With their 6-figure salaries and their 70-hour working weeks, they don't want to come home to PMT in a dressing gown and a gluten intolerance. Me? I'll eat anything. What's the strangest fantasy anyone's ever asked?
The thing that seemed the strangest to me, simply because I didn't understand what pleasure could be obtained from it, was the man who brought a pair of glasses specifically for the appointment. He had me put them on, and I knelt on the floor, and he wanked onto the glasses, which is fine as far as it goes. Then when that was finished, he wanted me to take them off, wipe the glasses on the floor, and lick it up.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
And I thought to myself, honey, how can that possibly be pleasurable? You've already come. What more is to be gained from this scene that you didn't just already get?
Did you quiz him on it? I suppose you couldn't. I suppose that wasn't part of the etiquette, I suppose.
Yeah, you
couldn't
don't
turn around
ask,
and go,
why? Is it these glasses or is it the carpet? What really thrills you about this?
No, I'd find it really hard not to go, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And what about peeing and things like that?
I was all right with things like that. See, that now that's something that people think, what an outrageous request, that I think, that's really easy to clean up. I'm already in the shower.
You must have felt quite sexually confident and capable and able, and you know, you obviously knew that you were good at sex. And
Well, I like sex. You have what you have.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone's got good points. Everyone's got bad points. Isn't, you know, I'm all of 5'3". There's no point looking at a 6-foot model with legs up to her neck and thinking, I wish I had that, because it's never going to happen.
It's
So
not gonna
why
happen.
focus on it?
Yeah, it's true.
You know, for all I know, she's looking at me thinking, I wish I had tits like that.
I wish I had your tits. They're amazing.
There's a lot of bra in there as well. There was a lot of boob chat around the second series.
I know.
It seemed like the media was obsessed with your breasts.
Yeah, well, that's because I was pregnant and
Yes.
they were at their all-time best. I definitely felt under attack at points in a way that I'd never done professionally before, and people were obsessed by the fact that I was playing that role, I was playing you, and that I'd come from a family show, and how irresponsible that was of me, and how gratuitous it was, and how
Did
unnecessary
you feel
was.
it was gratuitous or
No,
unnecessary?
because I think if you're playing a prostitute, you will always be, when you're working with a client, pretty much, mostly in some state of undress.
Of course.
So it would be untrue to the story to kind of be fully clothed the whole time. And I wanted it to be realistic. It was your story, not mine, yours. And it felt like the right thing to do. People say you glamorise prostitution, or I glamorise prostitution, or we glamorise prostitution. What do you think about that?
I reported my experience of it, which was relatively safe, relatively sane, and I got out of it what I wanted to get out of it.
People say to me, well, essentially it's all just, you know, selling your body for money.
When you sit at a desk, you sell your mind.
Yeah.
When you dig a hole in the ground, you're selling the strength of your arms. We're allowed to sell everything about ourselves. People have a problem with one aspect, and that's sex. You're even allowed to sell your womb and have somebody else's baby, to be a surrogate. That's okay. People don't condemn that to the level that they condemn prostitution.
What do you think of people who've been inspired to become a prostitute since reading your blog?
I'd say approach with caution.
Right.
I'm not exactly typical in the way that I approach sex, work, or relationships. While I wouldn't ever say to someone, oh, you can't handle this, I would encourage them to think very, very deeply about whether they could handle it before ever doing it. One of the main tenets of feminism is a woman actively choosing what she's going to do. What do you really hope to gain from this?
If it's just affirmation, adoration is not somewhere to go.
That's not a good reason. Not a good reason at all.
If it's because you're lonely, also no.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible reason to do it.
So the only reasons to really do it are...
The reasons you would do any job.
Money.
Because you want to earn the money, you think you'd be good at it, and it's not going to break you.
When did you decide you were no longer going to continue being a prostitute?
I didn't need the money anymore, and I was writing the first book by that time. That was the easiest thing to cut out.
Let's talk about why you finally did decide to reveal yourself after so long. I mean, how long was it in total?
5 or 6 years.
Right. It's a long time to be in hiding.
It started to occur to me there were little clues that somebody might have already gone to the press with my name.
How did you feel?
Rushed. I wanted to do it on my own timescale, and all of a sudden, something that had been, oh, theoretically, maybe sometime next year we'll think about doing this. It's like, okay, we're doing it now.
So then you had to alert all of your friends?
Many of my friends.
Did any of them, like, disown you? No?
Not that I know of.
Support.
Not that I know of.
No, I tried to be like everyone else, but I'm just not the kind of girl who has a normal job and fucks normal men she meets in bars or... But I'm still me. I'm still your mate.
Now that all your friends know, is there good, healthy banter? Do they make jokes?
I'd be ashamed of them if they didn't.
Yeah, of course.
I really expect it. Anything that's easy, then I get the look. Oh, that was easy.
What goes up must come down. Spinning wheel, gotta go round. Talking about your troubles.
And you thought you knew everything about me. Belle, of course, lives on. In Series 3, we have the book launch. Which, when you had your book launch, you presumably couldn't be there.
I didn't go.
I don't believe that.
I know. They can't be real. Look at the size of them.
That's supposed to be a myth. Talk about perpetuating a myth. This is ridiculous.
What? It's good.
The first thing you should know is that I am a whore.
Oh, Jesus.
This season we have sploshing. Do you know about sploshing?
Food people.
Have you ever had to splosh?
Recreationally.
This is full blown.
Really?
Beans and knickers. We had to literally plant ourselves in this enormous birthday cake and
fantastic.
get each other's heads and I mean, we got well carried away. We kind of had free reign. It was loads of fun. I think the most interesting part of the story for me, which is probably why you can continue to write it, is just it's men and it's women.
Yes.
And that's one of the most fascinating things in life. I think it's an interesting dynamic, especially in these circumstances.
They talk about men only want one thing. It isn't what you think it is. To have someone who says, whatever your faults, whatever you do,
You're all right.
you're great.
Tell me you're a dirty goat.
I'm so dirty. I'm a goat.
Say you're a cock-hungry chicken.
I'm a cock-hungry chicken.
Be like a sheep.
We're running out of time, but I've just got a few burning questions. What's the highest number of people you've slept with in one night?
3.
Is it true you never orgasm with a client?
Yes.
Was there anyone Famous. Let me see that again.
Yes. Not going to tell you.
Okay, musician.
Not going to tell you.
Actor.
Not going to tell you.
Okay. Let's talk about the money, honey. So for an hour, you would charge 300.
300, of which I kept 200.
Right. And for an all-nighter?
800 to 1400.
Wow. What's your greatest skill in bed?
Blowjobs.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you miss it?
I miss it in the way that I miss other jobs that I've had that weren't career jobs.
Finally, do you have any regrets?
I wish I'd told my friends sooner. Because there was a lot of support on tap there, and I didn't even realise it all that time.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
With the interview over, it's time to reflect. Having spent more time with Brooke, I liked her. I found her engaging, I found her honest. I've always felt that she was a bold woman, which does come across, and yet I also feel like she's built up a wall around her that's hiding a certain vulnerability. Definitely been an eye-opener, and I do feel like I've got a sense of who she is. Brooke Magnanti is a complex and fascinating woman.